Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to Hack It Chat, the NBA's first podcast with me, Chuck P. With me, as always, is my favorite hard candy. It's a Jolly Dancer. Dan, what are we going to do today?
We are here to talk some hoops and tell you what happened to Harold Miner.
Behind the MacBook, we have the anchor of our AV, Gyro.
It's nice to be here.
We're glad you showed up. We're glad to be here for our Northwest Division preview. We're going through every single division, and with each one, we're going to talk about all 5 teams. We're going to talk about the most interesting player, or the player we should keep an eye on, the most interesting lineups that we have, as well as we're going to tell you how each team's season's going to end. Like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, there's always a twist, whether it be a good one or a bad one. We're going to tell you how the season's going to end. We are going to figure all of that out. And with each division, we have a theme for each one. And we have a theme for each team going on here in the Northwest Division. Dan, are you ready to go?
Well, what's our theme for this one? Are we gonna discuss it, or are we gonna let the Joker tell us?
We're just going to jump right into it, because the Northwest Division is all the houses you go to when you go trick-or-treating.
Oh, yes, I cannot wait.
And here we go.
And with every single team, we have a buzzer going on that after 5 minutes, you're going to hear this. If we're going too long, that means we got to book it. We got to work through it. The first team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. What kind of house are they, Dan?
Well, let's see. We're out. We've got our costumes on. What are you, by the way? What are you going out as?
Oh, I'm wearing all brown, and I'm just going to be Charlie Brown.
Oh, that's very nice. I've decided I'm going to be Max from Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh,
so
I love it.
Full on onesie, a little crown, and now we're out. It's like, why is that adult with a full beard, Max? He likes the book. Okay, everyone just relax.
You
likes the book
really
a lot.
do like Where the Wild Things Are. I'm glad
I
that you
really
stuck
do.
with that.
So, but we're out and about. We're hitting the houses. We get to the Minnesota Timberwolves house.
Mm-hmm.
What are we? We are the Take One. Chuck, can you tell
That's
me what
right.
a Take One is?
Well, when you go up to a house, there's sometimes a bull that just says, hey, please take one.
Yes.
You got to look, you got to stay disciplined. You got to just take one. And if you're a team with Tom Thibodeau as a coach, you got to be disciplined. You got to be there. And plus, that whole bowl, that's got to last all night long.
It's got to last all night.
And that's what every single player on the Timberwolves, especially in their starting lineup, has to do. They got to be ready to go all night. Andrew Wiggins might play 48 minutes a game this year. He might play 50 minutes a game this year. It'll go crazy. It's Tom Thibodeau. He's going to run those guys in the ground. So you always got to be ready all night.
So that
That's why you
Take
gotta
One
stay
bowl for
disciplined.
us is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Absolutely.
In the sense that they have got to be ready for someone to keep grabbing and pushing and pulling and taking stuff from that bowl all night long. So, Chuck, with that being said, who are you excited to watch for the Timberwolves this season?
Every single player that they have, the entire
All of them.
lineup. Now, the guy who I'm going to keep my eye on is Ricky Rubio, because I think that's the guy who might have an issue actually keeping his job. I think Chris Dunn has already started really, really well in Summer League and in the preseason, showing that he's ready for some NBA ball. I think he might be the future piece for this Minnesota team, and so he actually might be on the move. We'll see how he plays with this team. We'll see how he grows with Zach LaVine and Andrew Wiggins and Carl Anthony. Oh, my gosh. I just called him Carl Anthony. Excuse me.
sure did.
Carl Towns. We should know, but come on. That's our thing.
That's
That's my bad, guys. That's
okay.
my.
Hey,
That's our.
Can't do
Carl
that.
Still
Towns.
preseason. Still
Look, it's
preseason
preseason.
here.
Yeah, it's preseason for everybody, right?
Preseason for everybody.
Preseason
Yeah,
for
so
everybody.
I'm thinking we got to keep an eye on Ricky Rubio, just
Definitely.
see what he's going to be up to. Dan, how about you? Who are you keeping your eye on?
I've got my eye on Zach LaVine. He had some huge breakout games last year. Slam dunk champion in commercials now.
Two-time.
He's definitely making the ascension. He is going to
Literally.
be. Yes, he is. Yeah, both
Literally.
literally and figuratively. He's super athletic. He is going to be able to figure out how to take that athleticism and then turn that into a solid basketball performance on a night in, night out basis. Great coaching staff alongside of him, going to really push him to develop and move more into the really good NBA player as opposed to just the super freak athlete that he already is. So Zach LaVine, keep your eyes on him. Solid year for Zach LaVine this season.
I love it. I have Zach LaVine in my interesting lineup. I'm starting with Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, Gorgie Dang, Carl Towns. And you know why? Because I think that's going to be the starting lineup near the end of the year. And that's going to be this teams line up going forward. This is the
like it.
future of the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's why I love this lineup so much. Dan, how about yourself? What are you looking at?
I went pretty similar to you. I went Dunn, Levine, Wiggins, but then changed things up a little bit. Put Towns at that power forward position, stretching the floor a little bit, and then added a newcomer at that 5 spot with Jordan Hill. Now I feel like he's going to be their Taj Gibson type guy. Thibodeau really likes that defensive guy, the defensive. Oh, you're falling off the face of the earth. Oh no, but Jordan Hill Jordan Hill can fit that kind of Taj Gibson mold, that Taj Gibson role that Thibodeau really likes in that system. Plays hard defensively, can kind of help out where he needs to offensively, but it's not the focus of what you're doing. So similar role, similar feel for the lineup you've had, just one shot switched out there. So
absolutely.
All right. End of the year.
The
M. Night Shyamalan has written the whole thing.
Right.
What is the twist? How is it going to end? Chuck P.
It's pretty simple. Tom Thibodeau is going to bring the defense forward. They were 28th in defensive rebounds last year. That's not good, and that's not going to happen under a Tom Thibodeau team. They're going to take a step forward defensively. We'll see what these young guys are made of, what their potential is. We both have them as the 6th seed in the West.
Yes.
The 6th seed, not just sneaking into the playoffs. Like, they are ahead of a couple teams. I think we're right on the money. I think they're going to take a big step forward.
That's right. And I think, taking this to full M. Night Shyamalan, before he made The Sixth Sense, he had to make a movie called Wide Awake.
Right.
And that projected him into making The Sixth Sense. So I feel like they're going to get some of that acclaim that we've decided that they're going to get and make their way into those playoffs. Not going to go far in those playoffs, in my opinion, but it's that first step to getting the feel that they need, how they need to play, and the level of competition at the next step for that group of young guys. So I like it. I like what we're doing with the Timberwolves. Going to be a good season for them.
I mean, we saw that happen with the Warriors. They had to get in the playoffs a couple of years, wet their feet a little bit, and then they started to build up. And I think this is exactly the road the Minnesota Timberwolves are on.
Whoa!
Actually scared me. It jumped a little bit. All right, moving forward, we have our pillowcases full of candy. We got our take one. We're moving on to the Denver Nuggets, where, shockingly, we're getting Capri Suns.
Whoa!
Right.
We just got a bowl full of candy.
I know, right? We just got some candy. And I'm going to be honest, I took 2. I always take 2 because
everybody has.
Do that.
look, I'm a chubby kid. So we move on to the next house. It's Capri Suns. Look, I'm not mad because let's face it, I'm thirsty. I'm going to be walking around for a while. I'm going to drink that Capri Sun right now. It threw me off a little bit, just like the Denver Nuggets. Look, we're not upset at the Denver Nuggets. I think they have some things that we're really going to enjoy. Is it what we were looking for in gobs and gobs of candy? Not quite. But we're going to enjoy it while we got it. The Denver Nuggets, they're not going to be amazing, but hey, it's going to be fun.
It really is. It's giving me that sugar-flavored water in between running around houses to get my bag full of candy. So you know what? I'm kind of excited that I got it. And taking that and putting it into the Denver Nuggets, the core is there. A bunch of young guys that really don't know how to play in the league yet, but there's a lot of young talent on that team. And a lot of young guys that can really mold and mesh together to take the next step. Not going to happen this year.
Right.
Not going to be the year that's going to happen. There's just so much, talent in the West that they're going to get bogged down a little bit. But they're going to cause problems for people on a night-in, night-out basis.
Who's one of those young guys?
Like what they've built there.
Who's one of those young guys that you're going to be looking to watch?
Well, they have so many of them. But I'm really excited that Jusuf Nurkic is back and healthy to start the season.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
He is one of the most different Euros that have come over where he talks trash all the time. And I feel like he's kind of their Draymond. Like, as he goes, that team kind of follows. He chirps at people. I mean, if you go to YouTube and you look up the DeMarcus Cousins, Jusuf Nurkic back and forth, like, he's not afraid of anybody.
Right.
He's not backing down from anybody, similar to Draymond. Now, I'm not saying he's Draymond. I'm not going to say he's going to be the next Draymond, but he could be that type of guy for this team. So I'm keeping my eyes on Jusuf Nurkic. Chuck, another Euro. Who are you keeping your eyes on?
Well, years ago, I could not tell you how much I loved Danilo Gallinari. I would use him all the time. You can ask Dover. I used him all the time in 2K.
You call him
and
the cheat code.
I called him my cheat code, man, because anytime I took a 3 with Danilo, it was going down. Now, he's had injury stuff going on from 2 years ago, getting into last season. I want to see him get healthy. I want to see if this guy can be an actual real guy in the NBA, because he could be a solid piece for the Denver Nuggets. They could start to not build around him, but build with him. I want to see if he can return back to that I'm going to step up and drain every 3 I see kind of guy. And that's why I put him in my fun lineup here. I have Moutier taking the 1, Jamal Murray with the 2. He's a young guy, and I want to see how he can play in the NBA. He had a shot. Let's see if he can keep the shot from college into the pros. Gallinari, Fareed, and then I got Jokic. I really hope he doesn't have that sophomore slump, because Jokic was really, really good last year.
Yes.
What are you thinking, Dan? Who are the 5 guys you're looking for?
So my backcourt is the exact same. I have Moutier and Murray. I think Moutier really takes a step. We talked about him at the All-Star break last year, really immersing himself into the league, getting a night in, night out basis of what this game is like at the highest level. And he really proved that he could do some things that we thought he'd be able to do. Russell Westbrook light could get himself to that role in the league, but he's definitely not there yet.
He definitely needs to improve his shooting. He was like
100%.
26% or something. It was ridiculous.
Which is not good. Not good from 3.
Right.
But he has the type of athleticism, and the shot mechanics are there for him to develop into that kind of shooter.
Right.
So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on him. I know a lot of the guys we listen to on a regular basis with podcasts talk about the league pass. You're watching games that are not necessarily national broadcast. This is a team that, with the NBA League Pass, I'm going to be tuning into almost every time they're on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Excited to watch them. I have Will Barton as my 3.
Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill. Danilo Gallinari, your guy at my 4 to really stretch the floor. And then I've got Yusuf Nurkic as my 5. I know it's not Jokic at the 5. Hated keeping him off the floor, but I wanted to go again with those, long, rangy kind of 4-round-1 lineups. Everyone on the floor can handle it. Everyone can shoot it. I'm not going to defend anybody. We know that. But this lineup's going to attack. This lineup's going to attack and get buckets.
Yeah, for a second, I had Nurkic in for my 4 for Fareed, but I felt weird keeping Fareed not in the lineup. Plus, I wanted to add a little bit more athleticism. And so we'll see what happens. Who knows what's going to happen with those 3 guys in the forward positions? Maybe one of them doesn't last the season.
Yeah, I don't know if Fareed's going to be on the team throughout the entire season.
My M. Night Shyamalan twist, I think this team's going to improve the 3-point. They were 26th in the league last year. Not great. We need to power through this. I think they're going to be a good team. They're going to be the good, bad team, though. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to beat the people they're supposed to, lose to the people that they're not supposed to. And they're going to build, they're going to, move forward, but they're not going to be great. How about you, Dan?
So my M. Night Shyamalan, The Village. Spoiler alerts on this one in case you've never seen The Village. They're just in costumes. It's nothing exciting. There's really no cool monster involved. So kind of the good, the bad, kind of like what you'd said. It's the base is there. There's a really cool idea. It's going to be cool, but at the end of the day, they're just in costumes. It's not going to be that great. So taking steps, solid core, but just not there yet.
Well, they're not the only ones in costumes. We are still in costumes. We're going through trick-or-treating, and we have come up to our next house. And this is the house that wants to show up all the other houses. This is the house that wants to be like, you know what other houses on the street? Middle fingers. Marcus Hall. They're going double birds, which is exactly what Russell Westbrook is going to do through this entire season.
Full-size candy bars.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're the full-size candy bars because Russell Westbrook is out to just show everyone that he has 2 middle fingers for everyone to see. That's it.
Wasn't that great? Like you were a kid, you'd walk up to that house, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that's a full size candy bar!" And you go to like the next houses, and you get like the real, and they'd look at you, be like, "Oh my gosh, the Swartzens got you the full size candy bars, didn't they? Those jerks." And the Swartzens were like, "Hey, everybody in the neighborhood, check it out, full size candy bars."
Hey, you want to know who had the full size candy bars in our neighborhood? This house, the Pryor household. Pryor household had the full size candy bars.
That's
and
awesome.
The best part is, hey, sometimes not everyone came and got all of the full-size candy bars. I got to take them home. Oh, that just reminded me. My parents are going to be out of town during trick or treat. I may have to go
It's
and
up to you.
Are you in
give out
charge?
candy. I guess so. That's
Wow.
a horrible thought. Well, let's talk about basketball.
Moving
So
on.
the Oklahoma City Thunder, they lost Kevin Durant
Ugh.
and Serge Ibaka and Deion Waiters.
Well, they were,
I know.
another
That
rough
one was the
loss.
real one. So there's going to be quite a different thing to be keeping our eyes on.
Yeah.
And it's Russell Westbrook.
What do you know? Russell
He's my
Westbrook,
player to
him.
watch
Yep.
because I think he's the only player to watch.
Always.
I mean, I really wanted to see Campaign, but he's still injured. He may not get
He's
back
not going to dance with Russell.
well. And so I want to
start
see
to
them
do.
on the floor together, but we're not going to see that for a while yet.
You get Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, Victor, he can sing. Do you remember him when he was in the dunk contest and he was just singing beforehand? We are not talking about this at all. Remember when we were supposed to like power through it?
Yeah,
We're not
power
doing
through,
that.
yeah.
Let's power
Over
through.
Power through.
What are you looking at as far as Westbrook for this year, Dan?
Well, I mean, we talked about it. I mean, he is. If you like, as I've heard him talk preseason, as you've seen some of the things he said, things that have come out about him, he just seems like he's on a mission to. He's just angry.
Yep.
And an angry Westbrook is a guy that the Thunder go 15 and 12, but he averages a triple double and gets a couple 50-point games, a couple 15 assist games, plus 11, 12 rebounds. Now it's 15 and 12, but if you take that 15 and 12 and extrapolate it out through the season, that's a team that sneaks into the playoffs. So Russell Westbrook is just going to be a guy on a mission. I just hope he doesn't play so hard that he hurts himself. But even if he does hurt himself, we know he can play with a dent in his face and not
Right.
even be phased.
Totally
So
done that.
I think you're going to watch a cyborg just run around on the floor making plays all the time and just on a mission to go out and prove, hey, I didn't even need this guy who left me without even telling me he was going to go. I'm
Right.
out of here. I don't need him. Let's do this.
As
What do you
far
think?
as far as our lineups go,
Yeah.
we both have Westbrook, Oladipo, Roberson, and Adams. The only difference we had is you put Ilyasova in where I
Yeah.
put Cantor.
Right.
Which I think are very similar players. I mean, offensive-minded guys. Cantor a little bit more inside, Ilyasova a little bit more outside. But
Right.
let's be honest, Cantor's a Turkish turnstile, so he's going to need to have Adams there to help him on the defensive end. Roberson, let's see. Yeah, he had flashes in the Western Conference Finals where he was like, oh, wow, this guy can shoot threes. This is fun.
Right.
I don't think that's the player he is.
No.
So we'll see what happens with Roberson. But Dan, is there any particular reason you put Ilyasova over Cantor, or was just like, I want to change it up because I don't want to put the
Well,
same thing?
I
as Cantor?
saw yours because you had yours up first, but the reason was you need some shooting on the floor. Ilyasova can at least step out and shoot threes and knock them down, not at a high clip. We're probably looking at 36, 37% this season. But with this lineup, you just have to have somebody on the floor opposite of Adams that can stretch it a little bit. With Oladipo and Roberson, you're not having two guys again who you're sprinting out to contest from three. But you had to have somebody that could stretch the floor a little bit and just needed to add a little shooting to that lineup. And that's the only reason I went there. 6'11" shooter. But I think Steven Adams really emerges this season. Going to have a fantastic season. Could be at the end of the year the top center in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball. He's a real problem for teams that are trying to attack the rim because he defends the 3 feet in front of the bucket almost better than anybody that we've seen since super athletic Dwight. So, that's what I'm looking for. Tell me what your M. Night Shyamalan end of the season prediction is going to look like for them.
Well, I think this is going to be a good defensive team because really other than Westbrook, they don't have like a guy who can just go out and score other than Cantor, who is a guy who is really hurts them defensively. And so I think they're going to have those lineups where they're just going to try and slow down the game and let Westbrook get fast breaks. And, okay, all right, now we're just going to go play defense again. I think Westbrook's going to get crazy stats, but I think they're going to miss the playoffs, and it's going to be, like, really close. Like, on the last day, actually, they're playing the Denver Nuggets in their last game, in case you were wondering. I looked it up.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. Look at me, research. I think this is going to be a solid defensive team, and Adams is going to get looks for Defensive Player of the Year because of that. But I think this is a team that misses the playoffs, but is a big storyline because Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
what do you
absolutely.
think,
I went with the actual, again, it went an actual M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Happening, featuring our guy, Marky Mark, Mark Wahlberg. So you've got Mark Wahlberg. You're drawing in. You're drawing in with Westbrook. But it just doesn't quite deliver. And it's the first Shyamalan movie where we're kind of like, oh no, what is this guy really what we think he is? But you do get Marky Mark. The Thunder do still have Westbrook. I have them as the 8th seed, just riding that Russell Westbrook tear.
Mm-hmm.
At the buzzer, Russell Westbrook gets that team in the playoffs as the 8th seed.
Nailed it. Well, as we continue on through the neighborhood, we're coming across my favorite house. I am a huge fan of dots. And if you know what? Not everybody loves dots. And I get that.
Which
that.
dots do we talk about?
The one in the yellow box?
Not like the paper, like the little thing.
Okay.
No, I mean like the yellow box. It's
Yellow
like the
box.
gumdrops.
Okay. I like the paper
I
ones.
love dots.
There you
And
go.
I could eat a whole box of those dots. And I get they're not for everybody. And everyone's going to get a little fun size one and be like, okay, this is pretty good. That's what the Portland Trailblazers are. I love the Portland Trailblazers. And I want to watch every single game they have. I'm going to put them on my league pass just to watch all sorts of Al-Farouq Amino. That's it. I understand not everybody loves them, but I am totally on board.
Yes.
In fact, I have them as my 4 seed for the
Whoa.
playoffs coming up. Yeah,
Look
that's
at you.
right. That's right.
Wow.
That's right. Jumping the gun on this. I love the Portland Trailblazers. My guy to watch is going to be Alan Crabb because, really it was because I talk about Alan Crabb like way more than any person ever should. And so I wanted to talk about him again. Really, my guy is going to be Damian Lillard. Let's be real.
Everybody's
He's going to
guy.
be an
Yeah.
MVP candidate.
Totally.
I promise. He's going to be top 5. This guy's going to score. He just dropped The Big O, which was his first full-length album. Solid. Got a little Tucci on there. It's real good. Everyone should go check it out. It's on iTunes. I don't know why I'm doing a plug for Damian Lillard, but it's solid. Go check out Dame Dollar. And I think Damian Lillard is just going to, show his Sam Cassells and just take over the Western Conference.
I love it. And I think he's a guy that we both really like. He's just had enough of his whole life being told, hey, you're not that good, or like you're just at this level here.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a little bit of it toward the end of the season last year into the playoffs where it's like, enough. Like, I'm a guy. Everybody deal with it. Like, I'm a guy, and I'm going to show everyone that I'm a guy. And he is such a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to carry this team. Now, I have them staying in the status quo. They were
Right.
5th last season at the end of the year going into the playoffs. I have them 5th again this year. The thing that worries me a little bit about this team is everybody got paid. So all of the main people on the roster got their money. So you kind of have like that, before you get that big long contract, you have I've got to really show out to get that money, where a lot of these guys have really shown out that year before, maybe exceeded expectations. Now they've gotten their money, and now it's like, oh shoot, I don't really necessarily know that
Evan Turner.
I have to try as hard.
Evan Turner.
Right, yes.
Evan
So
Turner.
not necessarily that great. But a guy to watch, a guy who has not gotten that contract yet, and a guy who's not proven much of anything in the league after being a lottery pick, was Noah Vonleh.
Right.
And I liked the way he played in the summer league. Again, it's the summer league. Don't really take too much of it. Kind of take it with a grain of salt, but played hard, which is something you can't teach these guys.
He was a
either
lottery
have that
pick.
motor or they don't. He was a lottery pick. He was 9th overall in the draft when he came out a couple years ago. I think he's got the skills. He has the ability. He has the length. He's developed some shooting that we've seen a little bit in the summer league. Don't know how much floor time he's going to get with kind of a logjam of bigs, but a guy to keep my eye on. A guy's like, wait, Noah Vonleh is a player in rotation with the Trailblazers by the end of the year. That's a guy I'm going to kind of pay attention to, like league pass stuff. I want to watch the Trailblazers so I can watch Noah Vonleh. He actually made his way into my starting 5 lineup that I'm excited to watch.
Yeah. Go for it.
You go with Dame. Absolutely.
Of course.
He's the guy. CJ McCollum was on this bandwagon early to start the
You
year
nailed
last
it,
year. I nailed that one as my most improved before the season, and he's just going to continue to do what he was doing and rise in the NBA. I put Al-Farouq Amino as the 3. Again, a little worried because he got his money, but great, solid player. I'm going to have Noah Vonleh as my 4, and then Plumlee as my 5. I like this team. They've got just solid pieces. They can do a lot of different things with lineups, kind of match the big and the small lineups. So I like them. Chuck P., who do you have as your 5 that you're excited to watch?
Now, Dame and CJ are probably the second best guard pairing in the entire league behind Steph and Clay. They're fantastic. I'm putting Alan Crabb at my 3. I think he's a fun, athletic guy. I also really love his hair. Just a really good head of hair. I put Al-Farouq Aminu at my 4 spot. I like Al-Farouq Aminu. He's kind of a stretch guy. He might get oversized. We'll see what happens. He's good offensively. We'll see if he can handle the 4 position on the defensive end. And I like Ed Davis. I think he took a fun step forward. Either him or if Festus Ezeli is going to get healthy. Of course, as a Warriors guy, I watched a whole lot of Festus Ezeli. He was very Festus appealing. So I think I think he's going to be a lot of fun with the Trailblazers. I think they're going to be awesome. I'm going to talk about them 1,000 times this season.
Always.
I think they're going to be active at the trade deadline. They've got some pieces that they can move. They have a lot of long contracts. I think they might want to move Evan Turner or somebody.
Even though you just brought him in.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I was coughing a lot. I don't know why that happened. I think they're definitely getting into the second round this year and, gonna maybe rustle some feathers. Maybe try and make a push towards the Western Conference Finals. What are we thinking, Dan?
Well, I said I talked about it before we really dove into their roster, but again, I have them as 5th.
Mm-hmm.
They were 5th last year. They stay the status quo. It's kind of the same group. Let's get the band back together again. I think they're just missing another wing scorer, and we're right there. Just missing another wing scorer, a guy who can defend on the wing and score on the wing. I feel like they have that guy. They really make the next step.
I saw Dover's eyebrows go up. It was like, all right, I'm going to press it.
Coming,
I even saw him moving, and it still got me. As we finish up our trip around the neighborhood, we're going to all of these different houses for trick or treat. We are getting to the house that we come to quite a bit as we're going around. It's the Fun Size Hershey Bar. You're going to get those all over the place, and they're good, and you enjoy them. And you got to have something to fill the bag, and that's what the Utah Jazz are. There's something good. There's something they're expected. I think they're going to live up to the expectations that we have here, which is a decent team. We got to fill the NBA with some of them. Not everyone can be the top of the conferences. Not everyone is going to be at the bottom. We got to fill it in the middle, and that's exactly what the Utah Jazz are. I'm thinking that we got to keep our eyes on Dante Exum.
Okay, I like it.
We've talked a lot about how we like the fit with George Hill, and we like the fact that he's a veteran point guard who knows how to run a system. I think Dante Exum is the future guy for them. Still kind of recovering from his injury from last year, and I think this guy, he was taken, what was it, number 4 overall? He was
got top 5, yeah.
He's got some expectations to live up to. I want to see if he can do that. I want to see if he can bring that athleticism into the NBA. Dan, who are you watching for the Utah Jazz?
I've got well, first of all, we differ a little bit here.
Really?
We'll get into it at the end of the year when it comes to the predictions. Right. However, I'm keeping my eye on Trey Lyles. Mm-hmm. We talked about him when we did our Summer League pod. Again, don't want to overvalue the Summer League, but guys earn and kind of gain confidence when they play well and play well the entire length of the Summer League. Trey Lyles played incredibly well the entire Summer League and saw the ball go in the basket a lot. Seeing the ball go in the basket, regardless of what level you're playing at, makes it really help your confidence. Even when you're on the floor at any basketball game, any level, if you see the ball go in the basket, you're feeling confident on the floor. He is 6'10". He can play multiple positions. He can guard multiple positions. He can get in a pick and roll and come off and switch to a guard. I am really excited to see what he has on the table, and I really think that he is the key to the Jazz making a big step.
He is the key. Sorry, Drake song.
There you go.
Or
I
DJ
like
Khaled. I don't know what I said.
And I actually have him in my lineup to watch. And be like,
let's
hey,
hear
if
it.
I had this lineup, if I had this team, this is a lineup I'd try to put together maybe. We talk about George Hill, adult point guard, facilitator. He's been in big moments. He's been in big-time playoff series. He can play in those moments. Rodney Hood and Gordon Hayward, 2 guys on the wing. Both can shoot it. Both can defend it. Both are long and rangy. Both can spread the floor. You have Trey Lyles in there, can do a lot of different things, very versatile, handles it a little bit, shoots it a little bit, defends. And then you add Rudy Gobert into the mix. We haven't even talked about with this team yet.
The French rejection.
He is just a problem if you're trying to get to the basket.
The
now,
Stifle
Andrew
Tower.
Wiggins didn't have that much of a problem going at him and proved a point. But those guys, it happens sometimes. It's going to happen sometimes. But that team is a team that can hang with just about anybody. You have somebody in the lineup that I want to talk about. Let's get to your lineup that I want to talk about him. Let's do your lineup.
Well, first off, I put Dante Exum. I just want to see what kind of stuff he can bring to the NBA. Rodney Hood, I put at my number 2. Joe Johnson, I have my number 3. Now, the Utah Jazz, they were actually like really bad at last-minute games last year. Joe Johnson, he's cool Joe, man. He's going to be able to be in those clutch situations for them at either the 2 or the 3 if Gordon Hayward is still out. I think he's going to be a big difference for them. I put Boris Diaw at my 4 because I love Boris Diaw. Ever since, even with the 2000 Suns, I really liked him back then, and into what he became with the Spurs, kind of a utility guy defensively, just kind of going all over the place. He was the LeBron stopper when they were in the Heat finals. Like he was the guy who was on LeBron. And so I love them. And of course, Rudy Gobert at my 5. I don't have another cool nickname for him. Was it Boris Diaw that you
It was
wanted to talk
Boris
to?
Diaw.
Yeah.
Both those guys, Joe Johnson and Boris Diaw. So, the thing that this team was missing last year was just quality veterans who've kind of been there a little bit. So, Boris Diaw's played in finals, won championships. Joe Johnson has been in playoff appearances.
Big games, big shots.
Made big shots, can get his own shot in those moments, brings those younger wings along. And then you have, again, another big with Lyles and Favors and Gobert to really be the, hey, when times get tough, I've been in those moments. I can kind of coach you through what this is like. With that being said, my M. Night Shyamalan, Signs, the movie Signs.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water? I feel like this team is a monster and that no one has seen them yet. No one knows what they are yet, and they are going to show up in the league and cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams. I actually have them as the 3 seed
That's nuts.
in the West. I'm
You're
probably
so
a
wrong.
year early.
You're so wrong.
but
Quinn Snyder's their coach.
I love this team. They can do so many things. I honestly think they cause the biggest problem for the Warriors in the West.
I could see their length and ability. Here's the thing. I think that they have George Hill, Dante Exum, Shelvin Mack, Raul Nato, Rodney Hood, Joe Johnson, and Alec Burks. That is 7 guys to play 2 positions.
Right.
I think that they are going to make some moves at the trade deadline because all of those guys I just listed, they're not all starters or very good players, but they're all rotation guys. They're all guys that could get minutes, whether it be at 8 or 9. But you get 7 guys at those 2 spots. They need to make some moves. I think Quinn Snyder is somebody I don't believe in.
Ooh, okay.
At all.
Good.
I think there's going to be
good. Back and forth. I like this.
There's got to be something going on with him. I have them in the playoffs. I have my 7 seed, not quite the 3 seed that you have them at. So we'll see what happens.
The 3 seed's crazy.
I think the 3 seed's insane.
crazy.
Man,
Taking
but
a
if
big
it
lead.
hits, you're a genius,
That
man.
is true.
That's right.
All right. That is all 5 teams for the Northwest Division. We have gotten through our trick or treat house division with the Northwest. Make sure you check out our brand new YouTube channel, our brand new Facebook page, all those things. Just search Hack a Chat. You'll be able to find it. Make sure you find iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Store. Subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Go to thegamehouse.com, HAUS, gamehouse.com. Check out all of our content there, as well as all of the other content they have going on. There's a meeting going on right now that we're supposed to be at, but hey, we decided to record. We're going to skip that. So,
Hey, real quick though,
Tim
can we preview Harold Miner here?
Can
we preview Harold Miner here in this one?
But that was This is the Northwest Division. Like we have to get through all the other previews. Like,
But I feel like there's enough to talk to. Like, we can talk about each one.
We gotta whip through it. All
right. Next preview. Harold Miner talk, please.
Maybe.
Okay.
Next
Next
time.
one.
All right. Well, until then, I guess be good to one another. Drive home safe. Ball out.